Hello, and welcome to Blue Girls Podcast. And so today I have dreams for you for October 2012. And so the first one is titled Bus Depot. I was at this house with this couple. I was supposed to take a Greyhound to somewhere. I missed the bus and told the people if you miss it, it's non-refundable. You have to change it prior to leaving. They didn't care, so they went to Greyhound and everything, a different email would get money in 3 weeks reimbursed. I didn't trust them. Was thinking about going to somewhere to make sure I got money. Oh, so, yeah, so whatever. It says that I missed the Greyhound trip, but I already know that you have to go like a day in advance to change it. Greyhound has always had that policy, so I don't know how, like in the dream, they can get reimbursed in 3 weeks if it's non-refundable, but maybe I'm the one who had a non-refundable ticket and they had a refundable ticket. That's all I can think of. I don't know. So the next dream is titled Trip with Friends, and I was someplace and my youngest brother was there. He wouldn't tell me until the last minute where he was going. I was surprised that it was Des Moines. And here I thought he was going to say Florida. Then I was with some friends younger and they wanted to go to California, Los Angeles. I didn't like Los Angeles and mentioned San Francisco. I hadn't been there in 10 years. They said Los Angeles, San Diego, so I could go to Mexico. It was a trip. So yeah, usually my youngest brother, he doesn't really tell me where he's going. He just kind of shows up and says, oh, okay, well, this is where I'm at. And so I was surprised in the dream, and I still am as far as Des Moines. Because, well, I don't know, I just can't see myself or my brother living there. I had a grandfather on my father's side who lived in Iowa. But anyway, so in this dream I was hanging out, had some younger friends, and they were like, oh, they wanted to go to California, they wanted to go to Los Angeles, and I didn't really want to go to Los Angeles because I don't like it. In the dream, I'd never been to Los Angeles. I maybe have been through there, but I never been there at the time. This is 2012. So I have been to Los Angeles on a train trip. I went cross country from New York to Los Angeles, but then I didn't stay in Los Angeles. I went to Hollywood for like a day or two. I think it was just a day. Might have been a day or two. So yeah, it's just not, I mean, I like San Francisco. It's just, there are two different vibes there. Los Angeles, San Francisco. And I had family who grew up in the San Francisco area. They weren't born there, but they grew up in that area. So I'm kind of more, the kind of hippie hate Ashbury kind of thing. So I like San Francisco. And I've always liked San Francisco. And so, anyway, so they wanted to go to Mexico or whatever, and they were talking about San Diego. In this dream, I've never been to San Diego either, but I have been to San Diego about 5 years ago. So anyway, so the next dream is returning to former job, October. I keep on saying these dates, but it's 2012. They're all October here. This dream was vivid, so it was from God. I was somewhere and I was thinking about going to New Mexico because I thought they would give me my job back. I wanted to print off some applications. There was an old typewriter that I had to pull out, and since there was not any pieces of paper that were not printed on, I decided to go to the library around 6 o'clock, knowing it closed at 7. I wasn't going to like it. there. I think that's what, yeah. There were a couple of black women around and they were going somewhere else. One mentioned about touching my stuff, but she didn't. They were going somewhere and didn't want to bring me because I talk too much. And I said I won't talk it, and asked if they would drop me off somewhere. so yeah, this dream was vivid. I don't remember it as well as I used to. But I do remember wanting to go to New Mexico, and I did work at a retail job like many, many years ago, over a decade ago. So I thought they would give me my job back, and I thought that I could just, print out a form and then, send it to them or whatever. But there wasn't any pieces of paper that wasn't typed on. So I went to the library, and then it says it closed at, I went there at 6 and then it closed at 7. So I think something was open at 6, like the 6th month, the 6th day, and then it closed on the 7th. So I had to work fast. And I felt like, I wasn't going to like it there. Well, I've been to New Mexico. I've lived in New Mexico. It wasn't really my favorite place to live. But yeah, it says I don't think I was going to like it there. Well, I don't know if that makes sense because, I already lived there before. But anyway, so whatever. Then there was some other black women who were around, and they were going to go somewhere, and they didn't want to bring me because I talked too much. And, well, this is true. I do have a tendency to talk too much, but it's kind of like I'm like that with my friends and my family. Like my aunt who passed away a little over a year and a half ago, I could talk to her. And my cousin, my female cousin. And so, and then that's like my brothers or whatever, we don't really talk. But sometimes, I think my friends are kind of surprised that, that where I live, sometimes I don't really say 2 words to anybody. So I think sometimes they're kind of, surprised because it's usually my longtime friends that I've known a long time that say that I talk too much. So anyway, but then I was like, okay, these black women, I said, okay, I won't talk too much, which, I can do. If somebody says, if I say, okay, well, I won't talk much, I can find things to do. I know how to shut up, if people want me to shut up. So the next dream is apartment, camper, and the student. I went to go look at a place with my youngest brother. It was fairly large and furnished, but wanted $400 per week or 2 weeks or something. I told this young female student I couldn't afford that. Then I called about a camper I saw July 15th on some school brochure. I was disappointed about some date. I felt like this was Florida or as far as with my youngest brother. He was in Panama City, not sure, but I think he's in Washington, D.C. or going there. So then I was comforting this female student. She was going to the Midwest and leaving her family for school. I'm not for sure if it was the Midwest. So I went to go look at an apartment with my brother, my youngest brother. And this has happened in real life. And I think that, he did get me into the place, and he did help or whatever. And so it was something about $400 per week or 2 weeks. But the place that I did get into, like about 10 years ago, or longer than that actually, was about $400 to $450 a month. So I think that was, then this is after. So this is like this is talking about, it already happened. But this sounds like this was going to be another future date. So then there was some female student. I don't know. I have a feeling that this female student was in Washington. And I think that maybe, that I was going to take over her lease or something. I don't know why I would do that. But, and so I thought that my brother was in Panama City later, but then I guess he was in Washington, D.C. Or he was going to go there. And so, yeah, so my brother and I, my youngest brother, I kind of prefer the Pacific Northwest and the Southwest, and he kind of prefers the South and the Northeast, more so the South. So Um, and we both traveled like in our 30s and 40s. So, and he's still traveling, at least more than I am. And so the next dream is 3 pools. I was at this indoor pool. There were 3 pools. One pool of water could be flushed, so it was clean. The other 2 pools were dirty, and people were swimming in them, though I don't recall seeing anyone swimming. Then in one of the pools, I saw fecal, just someone had taken a shit in the pool. Then I accidentally fell in the other dirty pool and closed my eyes until I came to the top. I could feel myself falling into a pool and then rising. So I don't know where this pool was at. It was just, I think it was like a community pool, inside, there was an area, a pool for kiddies and then another for adults and then another pool. So one was clean, but the other 2 were dirty. And so I don't know why they were dirty. But I know one was dirty and there were people swimming in it, but I didn't see anybody swimming in it. So then I accidentally fell into the dirty pool. And then, so I could feel myself falling in the pool and then rising up. So I don't know why it was dirty. Something could have been dirty, like symbolically. That's all I can really think of. Because it says something about here about like flushing the pool, and you don't flush it, so I don't know. Anyway, so the next dream is sheet of snow. For some reason, over the past couple of months, I keep seeing, I have had dreams where all I see is a sheet of snow. They stopped for a while. But then last night I saw it again. The other night I had a dream about taking a Greyhound to Virginia and thought they would go there. I have no place to stay. Oh, okay. So, whatever. I don't really remember this dream really well, but there's dreams of sheet of snow, and usually that means the Midwest. But Virginia, well, I've been there only once. And it was for a campground there. So I was there for 4 days. But a sheet of snow, I consider that cold. Virginia, I don't know I don't think it gets as cold as the Midwest. And so I'm not for sure why I would go there. But anyway, pop. I wasn't at a couple's house. I was. It doesn't feel like any place I've been before. They wanted to know who drank all their pop, and I didn't admit to it. But I opened the fridge, and they put Diet Coke in there, and I didn't take any. I had a lot of stuff, and I was going through things to pack. I think my mom was there. So I had one suitcase, and I put things in there, a bag. I told the woman it's insane like last night. It was 12:20 or 1:20, and the bus left at 7 p.m. I was trying to leave, but I do not know where I was or where I was going. So, yeah, I don't know where this couple's house was at. And, yeah, so when I've stayed with, like, my older brother, like, he would buy pop, and if it's, like, Coke or Diet Coke, I would drink it. So I would end up, having to buy my own pack. And he would hide the pop in wherever he would hide it. I think he would hide it in his bedroom. But so this was 2012. So I don't do that anymore. If he has a pop in the fridge, then I just, I pay him for it. But, I usually, what I do now is I just buy a lot of liquids, and most of it is not pop. So just a variety, a lot of liquids, just whatever I has, low carbs or whatever. So I realized that if I have some liquids, throughout the day, I'm fine. I don't even crave pop. And so the next one is small town. I wanted to see if I could stay at this lady's house, but she said then she would be summoned in 30 days if I stayed with her. I called my mom, who lived in a small town, and asked if I could stay with her, and then I could walk around and look for an apartment. I reminded her, then I thought, oh, I shouldn't have bought that ticket to Colorado because it was non-refundable. And then my brother, my oldest brother, who's deceased, was walking around. So I remember this, I was like at this lady's house, or I was going to stay there, and then I think I was going to be summoned in 30 days or on the 30th if I stayed with her. I'm not for sure why I was staying with her, but I think it was like a mother figure, because it says mom. And so, whatever, something about money or whatever. I shouldn't have bought that non-refundable ticket. And then my oldest brother was around, walking around. My deceased. Hi, so the next one is transfer student. No, the next one is open space. I had a dream, but forgot most of it. Then I had another dream that I was walking back and forth in this open space building. I remember seeing a woman at her desk. No one would talk to me. I don't remember this dream really well. Transfer students return. There was some convention and I was doing fine, but a woman, showed up and got her purse caught on a bus, and someone said there are people there to help you. The girl looked surprised. Then there was something, it was positive. It may or may not have been about school. Last night I saw the word admissions. There was numbers involved, I think. There was a meeting place where a bunch of people were waiting, then something about the Bible. Some of the other people went to go to another place for the meeting. I was helping someone with such a woman. I don't know what this says. Something also, I was walking and some people were at this one icky place, and I was glad I didn't experience being there. It was a city, maybe Tampa, and I told someone that I would return to Florida someday. This icky place was in Florida. So I remember this dream. It was like parts of it anyway. The bus, I got off a public bus, and I don't know how this happened, but I had like a purse on my shoulder, and somehow I got a cot. I remember it was kind of on the back of the bus, which I don't know how that could have happened. But so obviously it's symbolic, saying that there was something involving money. And so some people were there, saying that we can, there's people there to help you. Because my purse got snatched. But I don't think it ran away with the bus. So anyway, I think it's just symbolic. And there's something about college. I don't know if admissions or whatever. So then, then I remember that I was hoping it was Florida in the dream, but there was this shelter, and it was a really icky and dirty shelter. And so I don't know where I was staying at the time, but I remember going to the shelter and looking at it. It was really icky. And so I'm glad I thought it was Tampa, but I was glad I didn't have to stay there. I don't know where I was staying, but I just remember going there. So that's kind of the end of the blog here. Blog, WordPress, dreams,